Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jessica.
Today is Theology Thursday, and today's plot is the Final Four.
Woohoo! Let's get the game going. Where are our munchies? It's Thursday. We can have snacks.
No. What are you doing with the basketball?
Final Four.
No.
The championship.
No.
It's a little early, but I mean,
All right. No, we're not discussing that Final Four. We're discussing the Final Four. You know, the four last things.
Oh, well then, why'd you let me bring a basketball on set?
You're...
We have breakable things. Weren't you thinking?
I figured you knew what you were doing. We get around to it.
Okay.
No, we're going to be discussing a subject called the last four things. Lent is a time to be to spend time in reflection, to spend time in introspection, thinking about your spiritual life, where it's going, and where it should be going. And the last four things is a subject which used to feature commonly in Catholic homilies and discussed the last four things of human experience, namely death, judgment, heaven, and hell.
I don't know. That seems pretty morbid. I mean, this is springtime, not Halloween.
Right, but as we are in Lent, we are reflecting on Christ's passion, his death, and most importantly, his resurrection. And these four things really kind of figure prominently as a part of that. And it's important, and they're important things for us to be mindful of because we need to be paying attention to where we are and where we want to be going. So, given that this is the first of our final four episodes...
Woohoo! We're already the winner.
Yes, we're already the winner.
Championship game!
No, you can leave... Okay, fine. So Jessica's going to have a basketball for this episode. So since this is the first of our final four episodes, not the last four episodes of our show, just the episodes on the final four, let's start at the beginning with death.
That seems kind of like the end.
It does, from a certain perspective. But we'll talk about that. No.
Okay.
Death is a very real thing. Death comes for us all, and unless you've got some special birthmark or tattoo that you're not necessarily sharing with the rest of the world, while we don't have a expiration date printed on our bodies somewhere, we all have an expiration date. But we don't have to live in fear of that expiration date, of the time of our death, because death doesn't have to be the end.
So you're saying we should not fear the Reaper?
I'm saying that much like Blue Oyster Cult, we don't need to fear the Reaper.
Alright.
They probably did. I mean, but we don't need to. No, what I'm saying is that through Jesus' obedience to his Father's will, through his dying on the cross, he defeated death. And
so you're saying he moved up in the brackets?
Yes, he moved up in the bracket, all the way up to the top spot. Champion.
Woohoo!
Him and death went to the championships, and Jesus won. And through our baptism, we too, just like Jesus, can rise again.
So we're already on the winning team.
That's right. Well, we can be.
Okay.
So as I was saying, rather than fear our death, we can actually look forward to it. Death is the end of our earthly, physical lives. But it is the beginning of our eternal, spiritual lives. We don't need to fear death. It's like Paul said in his letter to St. Paul said in his letter to the Philippians.
Well, he said a lot in that letter. I'm going to need more details.
He didn't say that much. There were much longer letters.
All right. It was one of his shorter letters.
I believe it was chapter 1, verse 21.
Well, see, there was already 20 verses before that of stuff he said.
Yes. Anyways, as he said in Philippians, for me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain.
I think I've heard that before.
Yes, you probably have. It's a very popular verse.
It is. I bet you could find some, nice pictures with that written on it.
It's usually taken almost entirely out of context, but it's still a very good verse. Because the whole point is it really factors well into what we're talking about here, because dying in Christ would definitely be a gain. You're in heaven. Boom. Done. You're on the winning team.
Or at least if we weren't, a great saint, we're on our way to heaven.
On your way, or there already. You're already in the door. It's just a really long hallway to get to the main room.
All right.
But as I said, you're on the winning team.
Woohoo!
There we go.
Should we pop the champagne?
Not just yet.
Okay.
But the other side of this is the part that usually gets missed in the being taken out of context.
Okay.
Well, people hear for me to live is Christ and to die is gain, and they all sit there and they think about heaven. But the reason why we need to be mindful of death is because we're not there yet. And there's a whole lot of things that can happen between now and then. But Paul understood it just right.
Okay.
Well, for him, living was Christ. He was here on earth, and he was doing Christ's work. He tells us to be, in another part of the Bible, he tells us to be imitators of Christ. He was trying to be an imitator of Christ as well. So while his life on earth was Christ, because he was being Christ to others.
Oh, like all his things about running races and stuff because he loved the sports metaphor? Hence my thinking we were talking about basketball.
He loved the sports metaphor. And the sports metaphor fits really well because thanks to Christ dying on the cross, we too can die and be risen again to heaven. But we can only do it through God's grace. And the only way we get that grace is if we're playing for the right team prior to draft time, if you will.
Woohoo!
So, we need, like Paul, to be imitators of Christ, to go out into the world to share Christ with others. We need to be making sure that we are focusing on the things in our life that are going to bring us closer to God. And we need to start doing that today. Right now. Because you never know what's around that next corner.
The playoffs?
It's coming up. But death is too.
Okay.
And so that's why we need to be mindful and thoughtful of death, of our own death. Because at some point in time, it's all going to be over, and the question's going to be asked, which team were we playing for? Are we going to the after party, or are we getting on the bus to go back home?
The bus ride is always horrible.
It's horrible. It's terrible. It's like hell.
Literally!
So, remember, make the most of your time here. Go down below, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell so that you'll get notified of upcoming episodes. Hit the like button just to give us a little bit of feedback, let us know that we're doing a good job. And on the off chance that you came here expecting sports talk, go down below to the comments section and let us know who you're rooting for in the championship. Maybe we're rooting for the same people.
Maybe.
Maybe. And until next time, remember, your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.